Hey guys, this is Johnny from Johnny Custom Glocks, and I've had a lot of interest in this 17L package that I have that's all TimberWolf, LoneWolf parts, and a potential client of mine asked me to make a video so they could actually know what was going in the gun, stuff like that, and particulars. And I thought that was a great idea because nothing speaks better for things than being able to see it all laid out here, you know, in a video format. So basically, you know, I'm offering the 19 clone, 17, 17L, 34. Right now, I can't do any long slide, you know, 21, anything on the bigger calibers, because the frames aren't available. But I just kind of want to run you through everything that comes with the package and prices and stuff like that, so you can get an idea of you know, what you're getting into. Also, anything on the LoneWolf catalog, you can look in there, go on their website and browse it, and it's a potential thing. Someone just wanted you know, the entire slide covered with a TIN finish, and we were able to do that. RMRs with you know, here's the Fast Fire 3. We're just going to use a Glock mount, but RMRs with you know, the melts, they call them slide melt cuts and stuff like that. Anything's possible. So as long as it's on that site or in the catalog, we can do it a variety of different back plates, barrels. Here's a actual, this is pretty funny, it's a 9-inch Glock 9mm aftermarket hunting barrel by LoneWolf, California legal. Put that in your 17L and see how accurate you get. Anyway, so I'm gonna get my mug out of here and bring you down to actually what's most important, and that's what's going in the gun. And with that, this is the TimberWolf frame right here, and basically it comes either with a polymer or an aluminum mag well. Difference is about 40 bucks on that. The frame itself is running closer to about 300 complete, I think. And complete to LoneWolf means just a locking block and a locking block, an extended lever, and spring, mag catch spring, and that's really it. You know, they really don't have anything beyond that as finalized, I guess, because they want you to be able to pick your own, you know, pick all your own parts for you know, trigger and whatnot. So there's the, I'm trying to get a best shot as I can here for detail. You can see and this frame also comes with a swelled grip. Grab this out of here. Comes with this is like the 1911 style flat XD kind of. And it also comes with a, you know, the flat grip there, and it also comes with a swelled grip, which has to be the absolute easiest to switch up. And as you can see, it puts if I hold it against the white, especially, let me actually move this, change this up a little bit, because the black on black just doesn't seem to work too well, does it? There we go. So this is the swelled grip, right there. Magazine, or most people have 17 magazines or 19 magazines, so they usually don't get magazines. But once again, that's totally up to you. Bring this up a little bit too, so we can maybe get a little better. Perfect. Okay, so there's that. This person is ordering a 17 and they wanted it polished, so you know, I polished it you know, best I could without getting rid of the finish. That's the key. If you go too deep, you're going to have rust, so you basically have to, you know, just polish it on a wheel, get it looking nice. This is a 17 slide, and this is the matte finish, and you can see them next to each other. There's a, you know, pretty significant difference in finish. One holds the light, one doesn't. Next is the barrel. This is a LoneWolf drop-in, no smithing really necessary. It's called blind marked. I had them mark it underneath here. basically, so you know, you don't see any kind of Lone Wolf insignias on the sides or anything like that. Some people, that's like $40 extra to do that, but some people don't like having a bunch of advertising on their gun. This gun gets my competition trigger group right here, which is actually the newer design. So basically takes this gun to about, you know, roughly 2 pounds, sub 2 pounds. With they want a very tactical break, shooting steel with this gun. So that's just what that's exactly what they asked for. So that's what we're giving them. And this even has this has the dot connector. I don't know if you can let me see the dot. Right, it's hard to see right there, but it's not a Lone Wolf connector, it's a dot connector. So it's a 4.5 pound connector. And assembly is pretty easy. So, you know, you have to pay for the locking block. First of all, let's cut the trigger and get that in. And this is how easy it is. These are all ready to rock and roll. So we're dropping it right in. As you can see, it dropped right in. No fuss, no muss, ready to go. Next we're going to go with the locking block. And with this, you know, the tolerances are a little bit tighter on these frames, so it doesn't go flying right in. You know, you kind of have to muscle it just a little bit, not enough that it becomes a hassle. But now here's your pins. These pins come as well. So first pin, if any of you Glock armors know, they call it the first pin because it's the first pin you're supposed to put in the gun. And then you put in this one is coming with a extended slide release. Basically, you don't have to use the extended slide release. You can have the regular slide release. This is a Lone Wolf product. The fit and finish nut in it is very nice, and it goes very well with their gun. It's the concept behind it. So we're going to push this in through. And you can see these all go in very snug, very easily. And it's pretty much black on black for all that. And lastly, the trigger housing pin. And I don't know if you guys know this, but if you use the corner of these tools, they're kind of designed to, if you push in with the corner, to set it properly at the correct depth using the corner of the Glock tool. Not a lot of people know that, but okay, we're going to slide the barrel into the slide. And this has a reduced ISIM flat coil. It's best to always use flat coil with Glocks because it kind of comes together as a washer and then it comes against the locking block, and that's kind of like your return recoil system. So I'm not a big fan of the wound springs. I think you should keep it flat coil. It's what the system was designed as. Basically, Lone Wolf gives you a little adapter here because of the 17L model. We've reduced this from factory standard 17 down to a 13, but you can do 15, 13, 11. Heck, you can even do 9 if you want. So there we are in there. This is part of the trigger kit right here. This is the safety plunger, fit and finished, competition level. So basically, we're going to pop that inside of there. These all go in so easy and smoothly. Loaded chamber indicator and extractor. The safety plunger assembly. I'm sorry, the extractor assembly. Plunger and spring and bearing. And then last, the striker unit. So this is going to be a 4.5 pound range spring in here. And we all know the way this goes, hopefully by now, and the old armorer's trick of putting it inside of there to get it to seat. Spring goes on, pull down, and then Hopefully you don't have black shag carpet, as Lenny McGill would say. And there we go. So that's all together. I polish all this stuff too. This inside the channel, I actually polish that as well. Take a lot of time to, finish the inside of the slide if it needs, to do a little bit of lapping. If if any of this work, if any of the, you can see there's, I don't know if you can see the shine on these, but you have to polish them a little bit just so they slide better, and put a little grease on them. The actual tabs that the slide is riding on. And then the back plate for this. I guess I should have it together, and then pretty much voila. Just feeling here for and now there is no grease or anything on this yet. I didn't want to get it all over my hands for the video, but basically this is the competition level. Actually, it's the elite match. So basically right here it's just about the same pool as your competition as far as length, but you're going to snug up right there and within 30 seconds and quick reset. So, and they wanted the reset a little less what's the word? A little less aggressive, so you can hear it's just a little click instead of a big snap. It's just their preference, whatever your preference is. And you can see this the safety tab is actually grabbing here even with this much pre-travel pulled out. And here we have the rounded mag catch that LoneWolf has, which is pretty cool. Standard barrel size. Polished the barrel, but I left this matte just for a little bit of contrast right there. And then this is going to look really great with this RMR, on the top of it to finish it off, and it makes it easy too that you don't have to, cut in there if you ever want to sell it, or whatever you want to do. The less you have to cut into that slide, sometimes the better for some applications. But this is it basically. Everyone was asking, and so this is basically and like I said, you can pick your trigger, whatever trigger you want. You want a carry trigger, you want to make it a 19. They have compact frames now. Build a few 19s. That's a 17 frame. The 17 slide actually goes on this frame as well. What I really like about the frame too is look at that massive amount of beaver tail right there. You're not going to get any slide bite, period. Really, really well thought out. Picatinny rail system here. Already have the undercut with the trigger guard, so you can really get higher purchase on the gun. The polymer is very absorptive, if that's even a word. Very absorbing, just like the GLOCK polymer. And I just think it's an absolute stellar, stellar package right here. And I think this one with the RMR, I'm putting these right at about 800 because of all the custom work that's done for the 17. But like I say, give me a call and we can talk about price and things like that, different options that you might want. But like I said, I just wanted to shoot this shorter video to show you actually everything that's going in this gun. Buy as many magazines as you want. Nice feeling trigger. You can mess around with the back plates, you want the Punisher, anything like that. Like I said, this can also be, the magwell can also be, and you've seen this in some of the pictures, brushed aluminum. I can give this more of a brushed finish. You can have a threaded barrel. Let me see if I have something back here. But you could get a threaded barrel with a compensator on it. Something like that'll go in this gun. That's a 34 slide. That'll fit right on here. All the Gen 3 slides fit on these frames, so you can mix and match. Even the Gen 4 slides actually fit on this. It's just a cosmetic. It's just like a cosmetic sort of thing. You get a little bit of whereas there's no gap right here. Cosmetically, you'll have a gap with the Gen 4. No, I'm sorry, that's wrong. The Gen 4 does not fit on this because of you can put the LoneWolf slides on a Gen 4 frame. That's what it is, and there'll be a gap here because they're designed for Gen 3, but the Gen 4 slides do not go on the TimberWolf frames. So that's something to think about as well. And you know, you've seen these guns around here in the other Johnny Glock videos. This has actually been stippled like 6 times just to, you know, show the differences of how you can keep stippling and sanding and stippling and sanding. But I can put this slide right on here. Boom, I've got a 17. So really, the options, and everyone knows this already, I call it the iPhone of guns, because it's just unbelievable, you know, what you can do, with this gun. So basically, that was the short version. Actually, I got it pretty short, probably because I have a client coming here to pick this gun up, and I got to get the RMR on and get it sighted in. So Johnny Glock from Johnny Custom Glocks. If you have any questions, feel free to email me at getjohnnyglocks.com. I'm sorry, the website is www.johnnyglocks.com, and my email is getjohnnyglocks.com@gmail, and the phone number is 941-894-7114. Any questions? We can talk about options and all that stuff, and you know, I'll really beat the heck out of you know, the pricing on the LoneWolf catalog, and then we can, you know, get you something built up that's really stellar, that you can be really happy with, and you know, it's not going to take you to the bank, and you're going to have a very functional, awesome, reliable firearm, whether you want to use it for competition or whether we want to use it for carry, concealment. Okay? Alright, you guys have a great day. Stay safe out there, and take care.